Well, it is just the perfect time of year for a trip to the Carolinas, and that's where we find ourselves at Bank of America Stadium in Uptown Charlotte. Today on to Week 15 in the NFL, and we've got a good matchup in store, as it'll be the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Carolina Panthers. Charles and I have been looking forward to this one all week. And off we go from Uptown Charlotte. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
At their own 26-yard line.
Former Oklahoma State Cowboys, Chuba Hubbard. And he'll get what he can up the middle, 3 yards. That'll bring up second down. You talk about this Seahawk defense. They're currently 21st, Charles, in the NFL against the run.
One thing players always tell us is that they never really pay attention to numbers. I don't believe them for a second. They know where they rank, okay? They're not quite at the top, but they're far from the bottom. But let's face it, they want to move up. In order to do that, they got to look at each other and make sure everyone's taking care of their assignments in order to play the run better.
And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And now we've got a 3rd and 4. Now Jackson. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have a Panthers first down, although it doesn't appear to be by much. He needed 4, and he got 4 on 3rd down. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll give this to Hubbard running right. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. The Panthers have the first. It's a gain of 12.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
2 first downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10. Play action. It's Jackson. On the RPO, he'll keep it himself. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away incomplete. Now that'll bring up second down. The Panthers at 12-1 now to start play. They've been flawless these last couple months, winners of 9 in a row.
And let's give them a ton of credit, because in a league that's built on any given Sunday, any team can win, to run off this kind of a streak, this kind of a number, that's pretty darn impressive.
Looks for the out route, and it's complete to Kmet. And he'll be out just a yard or 2 shy of the 30. That's good for a first down, his second catch of the opening drive. We got to like what you're seeing from this offense here on the first drive. A nice, sustained series to begin the game that will continue after picking up another first there.
Would you say the word methodical comes to mind? I love the execution. I love what they're doing on this drive. They're controlling the ball, controlling the game, controlling the clock.
A gain of 3, second down.
Well, there's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
Ball on the 30 now. Here's a 2nd and 7. To throw is Jackson. They'll set up the screen here for Hubbard. And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. Chuba Hubbard with touchdown number 20 on the year. And the Panthers get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Looking to put a drive together. First carry here for Kenneth Walker III. Takes it to the 26, just a 1-yard gain. You look at this Carolina defense. They're trying to cover up some holes in the secondary. Right now, bottom 5 in the league against the passer, number 28.
Defending the pass has not been one of their strong suits throughout the season, but they have any hopes of making waves in January, they've got to improve in this area.
Here's 2nd and 8. Open man, he's got his tight end, Elijah Arroyo. 10 yards and a Seattle first down. We'll see what kind of mindset they have here offensively after giving up the touchdown on the opening drive.
And based on our time with them, prior to this game, I feel like they've got a good mindset going in. In fact, the discussion that we had with the coaching staff was, we may give up some points in this game, so our offense has to be ready each and every time to either equal or try and get us ahead and try and keep us ahead. This is their chance to respond to that first touchdown given up.
Walker now on 1st and 10. We'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. Well, this defense for the Panthers, they were very good last week in the win over New Orleans.
And every defensive team that we talk to, they spend a lot of time talking about creating turnovers. And anytime you get 2 or more in a game, you've had a really good performance. They exceeded that number in a huge way. They got the football back 4 times in the win.
Operating from the gun, Mason. Now a run here off the RPO. He'll keep it. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. 22 yards there, a first down.
I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
So from Panther territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Straight ahead, Walker. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. Operating from the gun, Mason. That's taken in by Arroyo. So 8 yards on the completion there. And now it's 3rd and 4.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
Here's the 7th play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4. Back to throw. Mason. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Oh, you can see and feel the disappointment on that one because you saw some guys on the sidelines jumping up going, oh, no. Looked like they had that one set up well on third down, but you got to give yourself time to get rid of the football.
York on for the field goal. A 48-yard attempt.
And this one is no good. He missed it. And this will stay at a 7-point game.
Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. And able to get this one across the 45 before it's brought down. 10 yards there to start the drive and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. And I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
First down, they'll stay on the ground with Hubbard. 42 yards rushing for him now. He's carried the ball just 5 times.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and putting the defense back on its heels.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Here's Jackson to throw. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. It'll be a loss of 10. And it'll bring up second.
Well, remember, they had the nice gain on the previous play, but they just gave a lot of it back right there on that sack.
Yeah, they get the sack, get back some real estate. Felt like the type of play that can spark a defense and swing some momentum. Almost felt like a take that type of a play, didn't it, partner?
And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. Jackson.
Rifles one, that's going to be intercepted. And the Seahawks are going to get possession of the football as time will run out on this first quarter of play.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Seahawk football here to start quarter number 2 as they get set to start their drive with a 1st and 10. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. So, Charles, the season winding down, the playoffs obviously not in their futures. They look ahead to the offseason. What spots do they maybe need to fill?
I think that they like the guy who's calling the plays and throwing the ball. I think that he's a pretty good player. Needs some help, I think, on the perimeter, though. Help him out with receivers because I think if he gets an upgrade there, his play gets that much better, too.
31-yard line.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Off the play fake. Mason. And he's got his big wide receiver complete. And he takes it all the way down to the 3. A big play there on the catch and run. 66 yards.
Oh, big-time credit. What a play design there. They wanted to get him loose in the open field, and they succeeded. He had all sorts of room to operate in, and they finally track him down inside the 5-yard line.
Walker will score. Touchdown, Seattle.
Touchdown, Seahawks.
Well, that was a quick drive. The passing game set it up, and then the running game finishes it off.
And how about how few plays it was to get it done, but they threw it downfield and then pounded it into the end zone. And as a former defender, I can tell you, it hurts just a little bit more when they run it into the end zone instead of throwing it.
Extra point by York is up and good.
And we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away.
And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
This Carolina offense at the line, ready to go. They had the interception last drive, led to the tying touchdown. So 7-7 the score as they begin 1st and 10. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before. He's out of bounds. And that's good for a gain of 6. And that'll bring up 2nd down. He was out there waving his arms, and when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
A give running right, it's Hubbard.
And now off to the races, down the right side. Touchdown, Carolina!
Chuba Hubbard
with career touchdown number 128. He's now tied with Marvin Harrison for number 9 on the all-time list. And the Panthers have taken the lead. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And that makes the score 14-7. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They trail a one-score deficit, 14-7, as they come up 1st and 10. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Yeah, another negative play in an early down situation. This one to start the drive. You're putting a lot of pressure on your quarterback to bail you out when you're in 2nd and long yardage.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Looking to throw. Mason.
And this throw incomplete. And the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down.
They certainly thought he had an open look beyond the 1st down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Back to throw. Mason. And he comes back with one complete. And he'll be stopped at the 27-yard line, well short of the first down marker.
I think as he began this throw, you saw that the area was congested, but he has a lot of confidence in his arm, and he fits that one in there nicely. They pick up the catch. Not much yardage afterwards.
Taken in at the 22.
Well, solid punt, but also a nice return there at 14 yards.
And the Panthers will take over now, 1st and 10. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around.
From the 38 now, here's 2nd down and 7.
Throwing is Jackson. Open man, that's Campbell. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a first down.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
And they'll run on first down with Hubbard. And a pretty athletic run right there as he's going to get this down inside the 40. 123 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Off the play fake, here's Jackson.
They'll get this complete to Calvin Austin.
And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. Another big hitter there, this one good for 18. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful you're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
They'll wind up getting 7 on the play. And that will bring up 2nd down.
Onward. Hey, Ozzy, sit up.
Jackson down.
Over the middle, and that's caught by Kmet.
And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina.
Cole Kmet,
His 5th touchdown now on the year.
and the Panthers go up by 2 touchdowns.
A good tight end is a heck of a weapon for any quarterback, especially when you're able to create some mismatches. Sometimes they work against a linebacker, sometimes they work against a smaller defensive back. But when they find it, they go to it, and it often results in touchdowns.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway.
Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there was a quick 3-and-out, and they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during the series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They got to get going.
It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out by a few inches. That'll be a first down.
And that's not a play that you see all that often at the start of a drive, but some teams, they don't mind doing it. And that one, well sold by the offensive lineman. They showed the pass, and then they got out into space, able to get some good blocks downfield and allow the play to be successful.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Up the middle they run. It's Walker. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
So if you've been playing defense in this one, there's a little bit of the good and some bad, because they did give up the touchdown run to him earlier, but shut him down otherwise.
Outside of that, you're exactly right. I would say they've contained him very well. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Operating from the gun, Mason. He finds his man, complete. It's man. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And now 2 yards to go on 3rd down. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. They'll go to the air here on 3rd and 2. That is caught. And bulldozing his way through. Down the sideline he goes. And he's going to be out of bounds here all the way down inside the 10. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Well, he looked his way quite a bit in this first half, and with good reason. You can see it there. He has such a handful defensively. Just too hard to keep him under wraps, and delivers a big play here for this offense.
Now a chance to make that big play really hurt. It's 1st and goal just outside the 5.
Here's Walker.
And he will take this one in for the Seattle touchdown. Kenneth Walker with touchdown number 15 on the year and 2nd of the game. And the Seahawks get a late score here in the final minute of the first half. The York on now for the extra point. And maybe a wrench thrown in the operation there. The snap wasn't great, and this kick is pulled. It's no good. So the lead trimmed down to 8 as here comes the kickoff, and it's away. And we will not have a run back here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 20-yard line. This Carolina offense at the line, ready to go. And with an 8-point lead, probably not too much of an impetus to try and do too much here. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time.
Omar, ready?
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Now it's Jackson. Now he's going to step up and run. Lamar Jackson, such a threat with those legs, able to improvise and get the first. Now a timeout called for by the offense as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Jackson.
Open man is Kmet, the tight end.
And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
And a nice milestone reached on that last throw is here late in the season. He goes over 4,000 yards passing.
And he's really thrown the ball well all season long. Had some big games along the way. He's inspired his receiving corps to go out and make plays for him in each and every ball game.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. They go play action now. Jackson
will get that complete to his tight end, Kmet.
Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see.
I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end.
Ready? Hey, Alpha, it's hot.
Jackson will throw again.
Calvin Austin
in the final seconds of the first half.
And the Panthers would extend their lead here just before halftime.
Sanders now to have the extra point. And the lead is up to 15 now.
Next the score, Panthers 28, Seahawks 13.
So barring a touchback, this likely the final act of the half as the kick is away.
And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. The Seahawks trailing, but they will have possession first here as we resume action in the third quarter. The lane opens here. He's past the 30. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
By no means certainly are they out of this contest. Two-score game start of the third quarter, but you feel like if they don't get points and then they give up points, then it can become a slippery slope. This feels like an important possession.
Yeah, and that slope becomes even more slip if you come away empty-handed on this drive, because then you give them a chance to extend their lead. You need some kind of points here, even if it's just a field goal. It's what I call one of those calming drives. Try and slow things down a little bit.
Up the middle, here's Walker. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he can even get started. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss, and now it's third down.
So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage.
From the gun on third down, Mason. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end.
And he is going to have a Seahawks first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not even going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10.
And he'll get across midfield and into Carolina territory. Give him 4 yards there on the first down keeper.
Well, if you're going to run the read option, typically, you've got to keep an eye on the defensive end.
And what does that mean? What are you looking for with a defensive end?
Well, you want to play off of what he does. If he collapses inside towards the running back, then you pull it and take it yourself outside in. If he stays outside, you go ahead and leave it with the running back. In this case, pulled it and got good yardage himself.
And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
It's been clear in this matchup which side has been the more physical one. It's been this defense. And here's another example on that last play.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Looking to throw. Mason. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete.
That's a nice job there because you've got to play the ball, not the man when in coverage. That'll keep you away from a lot of needless penalties, and he's able to knock that one away.
The Seahawks send out their punter as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. So possession goes over here on the punt.
And it will be the Panthers' ball, 1st and 10.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive.
Hey, report.
They'll start on the ground with Hubbard. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Now it's Jackson. They'll run the screen with Hubbard. Give him 6 on the screen, but now it's 3rd down.
Partner, I like the play call coming right after a tackle for a loss because this is an obvious passing situation, but instead they fooled them a little bit with the screen, and they wound up getting back what they lost and then a little bit more.
This now a 3rd and 4. Here's Jackson. He'll dump this one off to Hubbard. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 35. Nice 3rd down conversion and even 20 yards.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
Straight ahead with Hubbard. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a 1st down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
Ball on the 47-yard line. Here's 2nd down and a yard. Staying on the ground. This time it's Smith. And he'll get it down here to the 43. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
They keep it with Smith on 1st down. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. If this defense wants to stay in this ball game, they've got to start ending some drives. That helps.
And they have to look ahead at what they expect the offense to do, and right now with that lead, that's run the football. So you don't just stack the line of scrimmage. You have to get upfield and try and make some plays in their backfield.
Yo.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Completes it to Austin. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 31-yard line. Fifth catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down.
First down. First and 10 at the 31-yard line.
Austin is there and brings in another one.
Heck of a broken tackle and able to work this down near the 23. That'll go for a gain of 7. That is second down.
Second and 3
DC ready?
at the 24-yard line.
On the counter, this is Hubbard.
And he'll get it down this time to the 17.
137 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard.
So from the 17 now, here's a first and 10.
Now Jackson. From the left side here, complete to Campbell. And the Panthers are going to be looking at first and goal as they move this down to the 4-yard line.
It's all pretty simple sometimes, isn't it? Go where the defenders are not, and he does exactly that. Makes a nice catch to move the chains. Defense got to find a better way of accounting for the shorter routes that are being run against them.
Back to throw. Jackson. And down he goes. Pressure gets him back at the 14. It'll go as nearly a loss of 10 on first and goal, so a disaster there. It goes as a 9-yard loss on the sack. It's second and goal, but now all the way back at the 14.
180.
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. This is the National Football League on EA Sports.
DC ready?
So after the sack, here's second and 14.
180.
Jackson from the shotgun. And it's caught on the right side of Smith. And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. Rashard Smith from 13 yards out. And the Panthers add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the lead opens up now to 22 points. Oh, a good return up past the 30. And he is out of bounds as they'll start up past the 30. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And you see a lot of frustrated faces as they are inching closer to a fourth straight loss. Here's Walker to start the drive. And there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one good for 14 and a Seahawk first. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
They'll look to throw here on first down.
On the RPO, he'll keep it himself. And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
The Panther rush too strong. They get there and take him down.
Finally hauled down for the first time this game. Multiple defenders in there to drop him.
You can almost see all the defenders rubbing their hands together with glee because we all know they relish the chance to bring down a quarterback of his caliber. Anyone who brings him down has plenty to talk about. Not just a sack, but a big win built off the efforts of this defense.
The Seahawks on third down. 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 16. Looking to throw. Mason. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. That was no 3rd and 2. That was 3rd and 16, but they get the conversion anyway.
To get back in this ball game, big plays are going to be necessary. And here's one right on cue. Coming up with 3 scores here in the 4th is not going to be an easy task. But that's good work there to bite off a chunk of yards.
So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. On the handoff, this is Walker.
Knifes his way forward here, but just 3 yards on the play. 2nd down.
Good job there keeping him to a short gain. Of course, he's coming off a really terrific performance, reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
And I know people get caught up in, well, if you're the reigning Defensive Player of the Week, you must have made a bunch of spectacular plays. You mixed in a few of those, but most of the plays are just like we saw there. Keep them to short gains, make the fundamental tackle.
A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the stick, sets up a 1st and goal.
1st and goal, Seattle.
Ready. Here we go, set.
From the gun, it's Walker.
And he is in for the Seattle touchdown.
Ken Walker, his 16th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Seahawks have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th. So a little bit of a letdown there defensively. I mean, look, you're still 2 scores to the good, CD, but things may be a little more uncomfortable than they had hoped.
Yeah, if you'd kept him out of the end zone there, this game's over. You've locked the door on him. Instead, it's still open a little bit, and they've got a puncher's chance.
For the 2-point conversion.
They'll look to throw. And he's got it for the 2-point conversion. So they tack on a pair more here to narrow that deficit a bit further.
21.
The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. And finally, he's out of bounds, but not before a great return. He's all the way inside the 30.
But when the highlight is shown of this play, all attention is going to be on the person running with the football. But how about the group as a whole? Setting up that big-time return, yardage that we won't even account for in the box score, may help them win the game.
A give up the middle, Hubbard.
And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all.
Reek Woolen in on the stop.
And for the defense, this is a spot where you don't want to totally sell out to stop the run, but you do have a pretty good idea of what you're going to see. And that's good work right there to keep them in check on that 1st down carry.
Got his man complete over the middle. That's Campbell. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. Mark that as a gain of 16 to set him up 1st and goal. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal.
They'll run here with Hubbard.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
2nd and goal at the 12-yard line.
From the gun, Jackson. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. Something we haven't really seen much of from him, an incomplete pass.
Yeah, last week he finished at 70%. This week he's up over 80%. I don't know how you slow him down. Pass rush is usually the best way because a quarterback on his back usually can't complete a pass.
A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, 3rd and goal.
They'll try and run. Here's Hubbard.
And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it makes things a little more interesting now on 4th and goal.
It's now 4th and goal.
Sanders' kick is good.
So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, that's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points and there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out personnel. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports.
A hole to dig out of here, 2nd and 17.
Back to throw. Mason. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
I know conventional wisdom says, hey, don't get it all back in one play. But sometimes you go ahead and try to. They tried to get it all back on that one. Weren't able to do so.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Looking to throw. Mason. He's got him in. Complete. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. How about that? They weather the storm of a 3rd and 17 to pick up the first. Back to throw. Mason. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
Now a 2nd and 10.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Over the middle, complete. That's man. The Seahawks moving pretty well through the air. Another first down.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast.
Pressure comes in. He's brought down. It's a Panther sack. T.J. Sanders able to drop him for a loss of 4 from his defensive tackle spot. 2nd and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack. Operating from the gun, Mason. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He finds his man, complete. That's man. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop him with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Looking to throw. Mason setting up the screen here. This is Walker. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
Brings up 2nd and 9 at the 29-yard line.
Again, he'll drop to throw. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
It's a tried and true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. They got to get to the 20 to keep the drive alive on 3rd down. They'll look to throw again. And that is incomplete. 7 seconds remaining.
They converted twice on 3rd down that drive already, but couldn't make it a 3rd. We always talk about in-game adjustments. How about what the defense did there, able to shut them down on that attempt?
No choice but to go. Here's 4th down now.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And unable to break away. They stop him a few yards shy. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And this long drive is going to wind up yielding nothing. The defense can stop it twice more as they take a knee here. So this one is over. A victory for Carolina. And they've got to feel good about this performance. I think you'd agree. Matched up against a top 5 defensive unit in the league, and they pretty much had their way.
Yeah, that was the interesting part about it, because normally when we see this defense play, they have their opportunities and they make their plays, don't they? They knock them back on their heels. They take the ball away. They change field position. In this case, what you said is so apt. They had their way with them, took it to them, and knocked them back on their heels and surprised the heck out of them.
So for Carolina, they continue to make their case as a Super Bowl favorite as they move to 13-1. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for the Seahawks, their slim playoff hopes are gone now as they fall to 5-9. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.